Something extraordinary is happening. A heavenly message from Saint Michael the Archangel has just been revealed, and you need to hear it before it's too late. This is not just a simple story or a random belief. It's an urgent prophecy meant to prepare those with eyes to see and ears to hear. If you've ever felt that the world is changing in strange ways and the signs around us are becoming clearer, this message is for you. Saint Michael the Archangel and the Virgin Mary are speaking to us today, and ignoring this call could cost far more than you imagine. In this video, you'll discover the truth behind the divine revelations of Saint Michael to the light of Mary and how these words offer not just warnings about what's to come, but also a path to protect your soul and your family. In these challenging times that have already begun to unfold, let me be direct with you. Not listening to the end could be the biggest mistake you've ever made. This video isn't just another explanation of prophecies. It is a key, a beacon, an urgent guide for those who wish to be prepared for the trials humanity will face in the coming days. If you leave now, you will be ignoring a warning from heaven itself. Saint Michael, in his divine mission as a celestial protector, brings us a message filled with power and truth. Time is running out, and faith will be the only strength capable of withstanding what lies ahead. This revelation places each of us before a crucial choice. And, as if that were not enough, the Virgin Mary, in her infinite kindness and maternal love, calls us with urgency. She doesn't just come to warn, she comes to guide, protect, and show us the way to find light in times of darkness. Her message is more than words, it's a plea for prayer, conversion, and immediate action. But here's the critical point. There are hidden details in these messages that only the attentive will notice. In today's video, we'll explore these details with precision you won't find anywhere else. We'll decipher the words of Saint Michael and the signs left by the Virgin Mary. You'll understand why heaven is speaking now and what it means for you and your loved ones. Every second you watch this video brings you closer to understanding something greater. But every second you ignore it is a missed opportunity to prepare for what's coming. You're here for a reason, it's not by chance. These words were sent to reach you. The signs are all around us, they are happening now. Are you ready? Stay with me until the end, because you will uncover the imminent dangers revealed by Saint Michael, the message of love and hope from the Virgin Mary, and how these heavenly warnings can transform your life before it's too late. Share this message now with your family and friends. Don't keep this truth to yourself, and remember, heaven guides us, but it's up to us to decide whether to listen or ignore it. Prepare yourself, this is a journey you will never forget. My dear child, how have you been feeling today? Is there something troubling your heart or weighing on your mind? I want you to know that I am here, ready to listen to your pains and carry with you the burdens that seem unbearable. Trust me, place this problem in my hands, for my strength is sufficient to sustain you, and my love is infinite to care for you. If you feel it in your heart, share in the comments what you've been facing. By doing so, you'll allow others to surround you in prayer. Together, we will seek comfort and peace for your soul. Remember, you are never alone. I am with you now and always. Have you ever wondered why some people seem chosen to carry messages so important they can change the course of many lives? Today, we'll talk about the Light of Mary, a woman whose life is marked by an extraordinary calling to transmit the messages of heaven directly to us. The Light of Mary is not an ordinary figure. From a young age, she experienced intense visions and spiritual communications that led her to play a unique role in the world. Through her experiences, the heavens themselves revealed profound truths, warnings, and instructions to aid humanity in times of great need. But why her, and why now? These are questions that can only be answered by understanding the gravity of what is at stake. Among the most significant messages received by the Light of Mary are the prophecies of Saint Michael the Archangel. Saint Michael is not just any angel. He is the supreme defender of faith, the protector of God's children, and the one who rises against the forces of darkness on many occasions. He has appeared with words filled with power and urgency, calling us to conversion, spiritual strength, and vigilance. It's no coincidence that his message resonates so strongly in our hearts. It is a divine warning at a time when the world seems on the brink of transformation. And alongside Saint Michael stands the Virgin Mary, the celestial mother who, in her infinite love, manifests herself as a guide and protector. From Fatima to Medjugorje and now through the Light of Mary, Mary Most Holy has spoken clearly and directly about the importance of prayer, faith, and preparation for the times ahead. In her sweetness, she reminds us that we are never alone, but also warns of the consequences of ignoring the signs around us. You may be asking, why should I pay attention to these messages? Do they really have anything to do with me? The answer is a resounding yes. The revelations given to the Light of Mary are not intended for just a select group of people. They are for all of us, a universal call to awaken, reflect, and prepare for the challenges to come. But what makes these messages so relevant now? What sets them apart from other prophecies or warnings we've heard in the past? The key lies in the synchronicity between Saint Michael's words and the events we are currently experiencing. Conflicts, natural disasters, social divisions, and the loss of spiritual values are just a few examples of how the signs around us echo the messages heaven has been transmitting. There's no more time for doubt or procrastination. These words are an invitation to action. The Light of Mary, Saint Michael, and the Virgin Mary offer us not just warnings, but clear guidance. We are not lost or abandoned. These messages are like maps to navigate a world full of uncertainties. But, like any map, they only work if you decide to follow them. Imagine the impact it could have on your life if you chose to listen, reflect, and act. Spiritual preparation is not just about prayer, but about aligning your heart with God's purposes. Physical preparation, as mentioned by Saint Michael, serves as a reminder that we need to be ready to face adversity, both of the body and the soul. You stand before something unique. an opportunity to receive direct guidance from heaven, delivered through someone like Luz De María, who carries the responsibility of sharing what is essential for our times. So, continue with us on this journey. The messages you will hear in the upcoming sections are not merely words, but a heavenly guide to a life of purpose, protection, and unshakable faith. What you do with them depends entirely on you. Imagine standing before Saint Michael the Archangel, the commander of the heavenly hosts, hearing words that penetrate directly into your soul. His imposing presence inspires not only reverence, but also a deep sense of urgency. This is precisely what happens in the messages conveyed to Luz De María. Saint Michael does not bring empty words, but clear warnings about what lies ahead, and how we should prepare. In his first revelation, Saint Michael issues a direct warning: humanity is entering times of tribulation. Those who are not spiritually fortified will not endure. These are not merely symbolic words. They point to events already beginning to unfold, which many of us prefer to ignore. The dangers are external, such as natural disasters and conflicts, but more importantly, internal: faith weakening, indifference, and turning away from God. He describes a world on the brink of transformation, a time when faith will be tested like never before. And this trial will not be something distant, but something that will directly impact our lives. Saint Michael calls us to recognize that the forces of darkness are becoming increasingly active, working to confuse and lead humanity astray. Yet, he does not leave us without direction. He emphasizes three crucial things to protect our souls and prepare for what is to come. 1. Prayer. Saint Michael insists that prayer is our most powerful weapon. It is not merely about repeated words, but an act of surrender, a sincere dialogue with God. In the difficult times ahead, trusting in God will be essential. Saint Michael reminds us that even when all seems lost, those who remain steadfast in faith will be sustained. 2. Concrete action. He calls us to act and change our lives now. There is no more room for spiritual procrastination. His message transcends the physical realm, addressing the ongoing spiritual battle. Saint Michael invites us to open our eyes to this invisible war happening around us. Every thought, decision, and act of faith or neglect contributes to the outcome of this battle. Do not fear but be alert, he says, a reminder that fear paralyzes, but faith strengthens. This is the strength he wants to help us cultivate. 3. Vigilance. Beyond praying, we must remain vigilant. Vigilance means being aware of not only obvious dangers, but also subtle influences that can lead us away from God. Saint Michael warns against modern distractions that consume our attention and erode our faith. Being vigilant involves carefully choosing what we allow into our lives, our influences, associations, and habits. It is not just about avoiding evil, but actively seeking good. Saint Michael speaks of signs we should observe: climate catastrophes, economic crises, and social division, all indicating we are approaching decisive moments. Yet, His message is not one of despair but of preparation. God's children are never alone, He declares. Even amidst the storm, there is a promise of divine protection for those who choose to follow the path of truth. Perhaps the most stirring aspect of His message is the assurance that there is still time to pray, to convert, and to prepare our souls while helping others to do the same. He calls us not only to strengthen ourselves, but also to be instruments of light for those who are lost. When we hear these words from Saint Michael, we are faced with a choice: to ignore or to act. We can no longer pretend not to see the signs around us. His message is a reminder that spiritual preparation is not optional, it is essential. And it begins now, with small steps that can completely transform our destiny. If you've made it this far, it's because this message was meant for you. What will you do from here? Your response will determine how you face the challenges ahead. As we continue on this journey, let us delve even deeper into the warnings of Saint Michael and the call of the Virgin Mary. Heaven is guiding us. The question is, are we willing to listen? Saint Michael the Archangel has issued an urgent call. But the true question is, how will we respond? Are we ready to make the right decisions and align ourselves with divine instructions? This is no time for hesitation. The necessary response begins with understanding that we are at a spiritual crossroads, where our choice will not only shape our lives, but also the destiny of those around us. In his message, Saint Michael does not only speak of dangers, he offers a way out. He invites us to strengthen ourselves through three fundamental pillars: prayer, vigilance, and conversion. These words are not abstract, they are practical tools to face the difficult times ahead and build a spiritual fortress that will protect us against any adversity. If not, it is simply changing behavior, it is transforming the heart. It is a decision to abandon old ways and embrace a renewed relationship with God. Saint Michael reminds us that conversion is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. It is the daily choice to align our actions, thoughts, and intentions with divine purposes. This might mean forgiving those who have hurt us, letting go of harmful habits, or even simplifying our lives to focus on what truly matters. The necessary response, however, is not limited to the spiritual. Saint Michael encourages us to act. He knows that faith without works is empty and that demonstrating our faith through concrete actions strengthens our connection with God. How can we act? We can start by helping those around us, practicing charity, and being a light in a world often consumed by darkness. Every act of kindness, every gesture of love, and every decision to put God at the center of our lives is a powerful response to the heavenly call. What makes this message so urgent is Saint Michael's reminder that time is running out. We can no longer delay decisions we know to be important. He calls us to act now, because the challenges ahead will require a solid faith and a prepared heart. The necessary response is, above all, a personal decision. Each of us must choose how to respond to this call. Ignoring it is an option. But the question Saint Michael leaves us with is this: are we willing to risk the consequences of remaining inactive? As we reflect on this message, we are invited to ask ourselves, am I truly prepared for the challenges to come? Is my faith strong enough to withstand trials? What can I do today to align my life with God's will? The answers to these questions will shape the path we follow from here. Saint Michael does not leave us alone. He stands beside us as protector and guide. But it is up to us to accept his guidance. And as we move forward, we must remember that this message is not just for us. We are called to be instruments of God, sharing light and hope with those around us. In the next chapter, we will dive into the warning from the Virgin Mary, a maternal appeal that has the power to transform not only our lives, but the entire world. Stay with us, for you will not want to miss what comes next. There is a tenderness in the words of the Virgin Mary that contrasts with the urgency of her message. As a mother, she does not only warn us, but also welcomes us with love and genuine concern. The warning she brings is not a threat, but a call, a maternal appeal that resonates in our hearts. Today, more than ever, humanity needs to hear her voice. When appearing to Luz De María, the Virgin Mary speaks of difficult times ahead, but also offers something precious: hope. She knows that the world's darkness can lead us astray, that suffering can weaken our faith, and that distractions make us forget what is eternal. Her warning is clear, though: the signs are before you. Do not ignore the voice of heaven. Mary does not see us as strangers. She sees us as her children, children who often make mistakes, but are never unloved. Her love reflects the divine, strong, constant, and unshakable. It is this love that moves her to warn us about the dangers we face, both spiritual and physical. She reminds us that even amidst the most intense challenges, we are not alone. Mary is with us, guiding, protecting, and interceding for us. She invites us to trust her as our Heavenly Mother and seek refuge in her during life's storms. The Virgin Mary calls us to look around and recognize the increasingly evident signs: wars, social crises, natural disasters. According to her, these are signs of the times. But they are not meant to scare us, they are meant to awaken us. She says, the world is immersed in confusion because it has pushed God out of its center. The loss of spiritual values, the rise of selfishness, and the neglect of others are symptoms of a humanity drifting from the light. As a mother, Mary warns us, if we do not change course, the consequences will be inevitable. At the heart of her message is a call to conversion. Mary asks us to examine our lives, take stock of our actions, and return to God. She does not expect perfection, only sincerity. Conversion is an act of humility. It is acknowledging that we need help, that we need God. The Virgin Mary reminds us that even in our failings, there is still time to change. But this time is limited. Her warning is clear: do not leave for tomorrow what can be done today. Each lost day is a wasted opportunity to find true peace. Mary also emphasizes two fundamental practices: prayer and fasting. Prayer connects us directly to God, while fasting strengthens our spiritual discipline. She encourages us to pray the Rosary, a prayer that serves as both a shield and a means to obtain grace. By fasting, we are not only renouncing something material, but offering a sacrifice that purifies the soul and strengthens the spirit. The tone of the Virgin Mary's warning is maternal but firm. She does not want her children to suffer, but knows that suffering is inevitable for those who persist in error. My children, wake up. Time is running out, and you must be prepared to face the challenges ahead. Her message is not to instill fear, but to awaken courage, a call to act while we still have the chance. Mary also calls for unity. In a divided world, she reminds us that we are all brothers and sisters. She asks us to be instruments of reconciliation, spreading love and hope where there is hatred and despair. Do not be deceived by the darkness. You are children of the light. Take this light to the world. The promise of protection. No matter how dark her message may seem, Mary offers a promise that fills our hearts with hope. Those who heed her call will be protected. She does not guarantee a life free of trials, but she assures us we will never be alone. Her presence will be constant, her love a shield, and her guidance a beacon. What will we do with this warning? Ignoring the message of the Virgin Mary would mean disregarding the love of a mother who desires the best for her children. But hearing is not enough. We must act. We need to transform her message into a way of life, a decision to seek God wholeheartedly. This leads us to the next step in this journey: understanding the signs of the times and recognizing them to prepare ourselves spiritually and physically. Heaven is speaking to us, and our response begins now. The signs are everywhere. You can sense them. Around the world, events that may initially seem unrelated are, in fact, deeply connected. When viewed through the lens of the messages from Saint Michael the Archangel and the Virgin Mary, they form a clear and unsettling picture. These events are not random, they are signs of the times, a direct warning from heaven. The Virgin Mary and Saint Michael urge us to open our eyes and observe the world closely. Wars, economic crises, natural disasters, moral decay, and growing social divisions are not mere coincidences. They are like flashing beacons in the darkness, warning us of what lies ahead. Mary cautions that these signs are not meant to instill fear, but to awaken our sleeping hearts. They remind us that the time for preparation is running out. These global events reflect humanity's choices, which have often strayed from God and His teachings. For example, consider natural disasters, earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods, which are increasing in frequency and intensity. While science explains the climatic and geological reasons, Mary invites us to look deeper. The earth groans under the weight of human sin. Wars and global conflicts are also highlighted. Saint Michael warns that these struggles are not merely political or territorial, but rooted in spiritual crises. The pursuit of power and control reflects hearts hardened by ambition and a lack of love for one another. Furthermore, growing social divisions and the loss of ethical values are accelerating at an alarming rate. Mary warns that when love grows cold, humanity becomes vulnerable to darkness, indifference, materialism, and selfishness, a sign of an impending deep spiritual crisis. Signs are not limited to major global events. Often, they manifest in our own lives: spiritual exhaustion, a sense of emptiness despite material achievements, and struggles to find peace and purpose. These personal signs are invitations to return to God, reminders to reassess our priorities and seek something greater than temporary things. How can we recognize these signs? Saint Michael calls us to be vigilant, meaning to view the world with spiritual discernment. We must pay attention to how current events align with the messages from heaven. The Virgin Mary encourages us to seek wisdom through prayer and God's Word. The Holy Spirit will guide those who humbly seek the truth. Interpreting the signs requires spiritual awareness. Why are these signs important? The signs of the times are not just warnings, they are opportunities. They show us that there is still time to prepare. The Virgin Mary insists that these signs must not be ignored because they point to the need for personal and collective transformation. Those who recognize the signs and act in faith will be ready to face the challenges to come. Saint Michael states that they are called to be beacons of hope in a world seemingly engulfed in darkness. What should we do now? Recognizing the signs is only the first step. We must act on what we see. Strengthen your faith, pray daily, read the scriptures, participate in your faith community, and practice vigilance. Be mindful of what surrounds you and how you spend your time and attention. Spread the light. Be an example of kindness and faith in a world desperately in need of it. The connection to Mary's prophecies of light is vital. The messages of Saint Michael and the Virgin Mary help us understand the context of these signs. They are not coincidences. Each event, crisis, and difficulty is part of a larger plan, inviting us to choose between light and darkness, between God and the world. It is an opportunity for hope. No matter how challenging the signs may seem, they are also a promise that heaven is with us. Mary reminds us, "My Immaculate Heart will triumph." This is a message of hope, giving us the courage to face whatever lies ahead. Now that we understand the importance of the signs, it's time to explore how to prepare for the challenges ahead. In the next part, we will discuss strengthening both our souls and bodies for difficult times. Heaven has given us more than warnings. It has provided a plan of action. The signs are clear, the message is urgent, and the call is evident. We must prepare. Saint Michael and the Virgin Mary have not left us with warnings alone. They have provided tools to face the coming challenges. Preparation is both spiritual and physical, a balance of caring for the soul and body, as both will be tested in the times to come. Spiritual preparation, strengthening the soul. At the heart of preparation lies the soul. Saint Michael reminds us that without faith, we are like leaves in the wind, vulnerable to the increasing spiritual attacks. Key steps for spiritual preparation include constant prayer. Prayer is the foundation of everything. It's not just about asking, but about creating a daily bond with God. Saint Michael emphasizes the importance of sincere prayers, especially the Rosary, which Mary presents to us as a weapon against darkness. Set aside moments during the day to pray, even if brief. Consistency in prayer is what strengthens the spirit. Confession and reconciliation, recognizing our mistakes and seeking God's forgiveness is essential. Confession cleanses the soul and prepares us to face trials. With a renewed heart, Mary emphasizes that when we reconcile with God, we also reconcile with others and ourselves. Reading the Scriptures, the Word of God, is an endless source of wisdom and guidance. Read the Scriptures daily, meditating on their meaning for your life. Saint Michael reminds us that in the Word, we find answers for the times we live in. Faith community, no one should face challenges alone. Participate in a religious community where you can share your struggles and seek support. Unity strengthens faith and multiplies our strength. Acts of charity. Faith without action is dead. Help others, do good, and be an example of love in action. Mary reminds us that by caring for others, we are also caring for our own souls. Physical preparation, caring for the body and daily life. The difficult times ahead will test not only our faith, but also our physical endurance. Saint Michael warns that crises and adversities can arise in various forms, such as natural disasters, conflicts, and scarcity. Here are practical steps to prepare. Stocking basic necessities. It's not about hoarding excessively, but being prepared. Keep a small supply of non-perishable food, drinkable water, and essential medications. Health and well-being. Take care of your health now by eating well, exercising, and addressing medical issues while you can. A strong body is essential for facing challenges. Practical skills. Learn skills that could be useful in times of crisis, such as first aid, growing food, or basic repairs. These skills can make a significant difference. Emergency preparedness. Have plans in place for unexpected situations like natural disasters. Know escape routes, safe locations, and community resources that can help. Avoid fear, cultivate prudence. Physical preparation is not about feeding panic, but about providing security and peace of mind. Do everything with balance and faith, keeping a calm heart in turbulent times. Mary reminds us that preparation isn't just about what we do, but how we do it. Trust in God's care, she says. No matter how well we prepare physically, if our souls are at peace and aligned with God, we will be ready to face anything. Mary also invites us not to be individualistic in our preparation. Share what you have. Help those in need and remember that true strength lies in solidarity. Preparation as a constant attitude. Saint Michael emphasizes that preparation is not something we do once and forget. It is a way of life. Prayer, vigilance, and action must be ongoing. He reminds us that each act of faith and every gesture of preparation brings us closer to God and strengthens our spirit. Conclusion: the promise of victory. No matter how challenging the times may seem, Saint Michael and the Virgin Mary leave us with a promise: those who heed their messages and prepare with faith and courage will be protected. Preparation is an act of trust in God, showing that we believe in His strength to sustain us. Now that you know how to prepare spiritually and physically, let's move on to the next part: how to recognize hope even in times of darkness. And how can this hope transform your life? Continue with us, as there is much more to be revealed. It's time to pause, reflect, and make a decision. Saint Michael the Archangel and the Virgin Mary have given us clear, direct messages about the challenges ahead. More than warnings, these words are a summons, a call to transform our lives, realign our purpose, and, above all, to act. But here's the question: are you willing to answer this call? Deep reflection: where are you now? Before taking action, it's essential to reflect on what these messages have meant to you. Have they touched something in your heart? Saint Michael teaches us that change begins with self-awareness, a moment of honesty where we evaluate where we are spiritually and what adjustments are needed. Ask yourself: have I been living according to the values that truly matter? Is my faith strong enough to sustain my soul through trials? What attachments, distractions, or habits are keeping me away from God? Reflection is not meant to fill us with guilt, but to invite renewal. Mary assures us that, no matter where we are right now, there is still time to change, to rise, and to begin again. The call, a choice that cannot be delayed. The central message of these prophecies is clear: time is running out. The decision to seek God and align our life with His purpose can no longer be postponed. Mary reminds us that we are not just called to listen, but to act. She says, "My children, every action, no matter how small, has the power to transform the world around you." This call is both personal and collective. Personal: change the direction of your life. Put God at the center. Strengthen your faith and abandon what doesn't align with truth. Collective: be an instrument of love and hope. Act within your community. Be an example to your family, and reach out to those who are lost or suffering. Small actions, great transformations. Answering this call doesn't require immediate drastic changes. Saint Michael and the Virgin Mary teach us that transformation begins with small, consistent steps. Reserve daily moments for prayer and meditation. Replace harmful habits with spiritually enriching practices. Participate in activities that promote well-being and unity in your community. These small choices, made day by day, accumulate into something powerful, a life full of purpose and aligned with the divine plan, with fear as an opportunity for growth. You might feel fear or uncertainty when thinking about the challenges mentioned by Saint Michael and Mary, but here is the secret: fear can be transformed into fuel for action. Heaven reminds us that faith always triumphs over fear. Mary tells us that even when everything seems to fall apart, God's hand will be with you. This is an invitation to face the unknown with confidence, knowing that we are not alone. A call to unity is another essential part of this message, in a world so fragmented. The Virgin Mary encourages us to overcome divisions and build bridges, whether in your family, community, or daily interactions. Strive to be a catalyst for reconciliation. Mary reminds us that when we unite in prayer and acts of goodness, we become stronger in the face of adversity. Together, you will be light in the darkness and hope for the hopeless. What can you do today? Take a few minutes to pray and surrender your worries to God. Reflect on an area of your life that needs change and take concrete action to transform it. Share the heavenly message with others, helping them find hope and purpose. Seek to help someone in need, whether through supportive words or practical actions. What is at stake? Ignoring this call is not just losing an opportunity, it is risking being unprepared for the difficult times ahead. On the other hand, accepting the call is an act of courage and faith that can transform your life and positively impact those around you. Mary makes a final appeal. What you do today shapes not only your future, but the future of all humanity. In conclusion, the journey continues. The call to action is just the beginning. The true journey is living each day with purpose, faith, and courage. This message is not just a reminder of what is to come, but a promise that God will be with us every step of the way. In the next part, we will explore how to find hope, even in the most difficult situations, and how this hope can be the beacon that guides us in times of darkness. Stay with us because the most powerful revelations are yet to come. No matter how frightening the messages of Saint Michael and the Virgin Mary may seem, there is something deeply comforting in their words. They never leave us without hope, even when warning us about trials and tribulations. There is a promise of light, victory, and a love that never abandons us. This hope is the key to facing the tough times. It is not naive hope, but a certainty born of faith, a conviction that, even when all seems lost, God will be with us. The role of hope in the spiritual journey is essential. Hope is not just a feeling. It is a powerful force that keeps us standing when the world around us seems to crumble. Mary reminds us that hope is like an anchor for the soul, grounding us in God even when we face the most intense storms. Jesus promised, "I will be with you until the end of time," and it is this promise that should fuel our courage. The Virgin Mary reinforces this assurance, "My children, no matter how dark the nights may be, the light of my Son will always shine for those who trust in Him." Finding light in the midst of darkness, God's presence in our lives. Even when we feel alone, God never abandons us. Our moments of greatest suffering are often those in which He works silently in our favor. Saint Michael encourages us to seek the divine presence in prayer and silence, where we can hear His voice through the intercession of the Virgin Mary. As our Heavenly Mother, Mary is constantly interceding for us. She calls us to turn to her Immaculate Heart, as a safe refuge in times of tribulation. Come to me, my children, and I will lead you to my Son. In the community of faith, finding support in others who share the same belief is essential. Unity strengthens us and helps us maintain hope. Life the small miracles of everyday life, even in times of crisis. There are signs of God's grace around us. An act of kindness, an unexpected answer to a prayer, the strength to face a new day. Recognizing these small miracles helps us remember that we are not alone. The promise of victory. Mary assures us that despite the difficulties, her Immaculate Heart will triumph. This triumph is not only a celestial victory, but a transformation that begins within each of us when we choose faith over despair, light over darkness. We become part of the divine plan to bring renewal to the world. Saint Michael also reaffirms that those who persevere in faith will be protected and guided. What is to come is not to destroy, but to purify. He reminds us that this purification is a painful process, but necessary for God's light to shine even brighter. Practicing hope. Hope is not something passive, it requires action. Here are some ways to live hope in the midst of darkness. Pray fervently. Prayer is an act of trust in God. When we pray, we declare that we believe in His power and promises. Practice gratitude. Even in difficult times, there are things we can be thankful for. Recognizing the blessings in our lives strengthens our hope. Help others. Hope grows when we share it. By extending a hand to those who are suffering, we become instruments of divine grace. Trust in God's timing. We may not always understand why we face certain difficulties, but we can trust that God is working everything out for our good. Inner light, the unwavering faith. Mary reminds us that true light does not come from the outside but from within. My children, you are called to be light in a world that has become blind to the truth. This inner light is fueled by faith, prayer, and obedience to God's plans. No matter how dark the night, a single ray of light is enough to pave the way. You are called to be that ray of light in your family, your community, and the world around you. But the glory of God is eternal. This phrase encapsulates the essence of the hope we must carry in our hearts. We are on a journey. There are still challenges ahead, but there are also promises, and these promises are steadfast. No matter what happens, God will never abandon us. In the next section, we will conclude our reflection by examining how these messages invite us to a greater purpose and to share this light with the world. What does it mean to answer the call from heaven and live a transformed life? Stay with us for the grand finale of this journey. We have reached the end of this journey, but the purpose of these messages from Saint Michael the Archangel and the Virgin Mary continues to echo. This is more than just a video. It is a celestial invitation, a call to transform your life, strengthen your faith, and spread light in a world that desperately needs it. A conclusion full of hope. The messages we've heard are clear. Heaven has not abandoned us. On the contrary, God, through His celestial messengers, is preparing us for challenging times while offering us a unique opportunity for transformation. The Virgin Mary reminded us that even in the deepest darkness, there is hope. And Saint Michael has given us the spiritual and practical tools to face what is to come. But the final question remains: what will you do with all of this? I am called to personal transformation. This message was not delivered to you by chance. If it has touched something in your heart, it is because heaven is calling you. It is no coincidence that you are here now, hearing these words. It is a personal invitation, a reminder that the time to act is now. Ask yourself, how can I strengthen my faith and my relationship with God? What changes do I need to make to align my life with the divine plan? How can I be light for others and help them find hope and purpose? These are reflections that require action. Don't let this opportunity pass by. Heaven is waiting for your response. Share the light you have received. A message as powerful as this should not be kept to yourself. Mary reminds us that we are instruments of God in the world. This means we have a duty to spread what we've learned, whether through our actions, words, or even by sharing this video with those who need to hear it. In sharing this message, not only do you help others, but you also strengthen your own faith. Every gesture, every word, and every prayer contributes to spreading divine light, the purpose of a transformed life. Saint Michael and Mary not only call us to reflection, but also to live a life full of purpose. This life is not perfect, but it is guided by God, with the heart focused on what is eternal. This purpose is what gives meaning to our existence and helps us face any difficulty with courage and hope. Remember, you are not alone. Heaven is by your side, and the faith community we share is proof that together we are stronger. An invitation to continue the journey. Before we close, I want to extend a special invitation: stay connected with us. This is just the beginning of a journey of spiritual growth and strengthening faith. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to receive more messages, reflections, and guidance based on prophecies and divine love that guides us. More than that, participate actively. Comment below on what you felt when hearing these messages. Share your experiences and ask for prayers if you need them. We are a community united by God's love and the mission to spread His light in the world. A promise of love and protection. To close, remember the words of Mary: "My immaculate heart will triumph." This promise is not just a reminder of divine victory, but also a declaration that God's love for us will never fail. No matter how difficult the challenges may be, keep this truth in your heart: you are loved, protected, and called to a greater purpose. And when you respond to this call, your life will never be the same. Inspiring conclusion. May this message touch your heart deeply. May it be a seed planted in your soul, growing in strength, faith, and purpose. And remember, you are not here by accident. You were chosen to hear these words, and now it is up to you to carry them forward. Heaven is speaking to us. Let us respond with faith, courage, and love. If you felt the impact of this message, know that it didn't come to you by chance. This is a celestial call to transform your life and be a light in the world. But this mission cannot stop here. I invite you to join us on this journey. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any message, alert, or reflection that can strengthen your faith and guide your walk. More than that, share this video with your family, friends, and with anyone you know who needs to hear these words. By doing so, you will help spread hope, strength, and light to hearts that may be lost or discouraged. Also, leave your comment below, share what touched your heart, ask for prayers, and participate in this community that grows united by faith. Together, we can face challenges with courage and the certainty that heaven is with us. Remember, God is speaking to you. Respond to this call with faith and allow your life to be transformed. The world needs your light. Let us spread hope together. May God bless you all. See you in the next video.